Yesterday, we chose a landscape strip that is aesthetically pleasing to us. And our goal was to use our knowledge of foreground, middle ground, and background to connect and continue that landscape. What we're going to do now is we're going to work in the background. I'm going to look for colors that match my original Impressionism strip. And I can also add some other colors in that color scheme. We know that with Impressionism, we use bold colors and bold lines. I'm not trying to blend in the colors very smooth. In fact, I want to see those what we're calling brush strokes. So as you can see, I'm working from my strip and bringing the color out. Let me see if I can find any other colors. I don't see this bright yellow, but I can be courageous. I can be creative, and I know that yellow is warm just like my orange yellow. What other colors am I seeing? Let's see here. Yeah, it looks like I need to connect and continue that orange yellow, that tertiary color a little bit better. Don't forget to put the lid back on. And I noticed just a little bit of this almost like red violet. So I'm going to connect and continue that red violet just to kind of show a slight little shadow underneath my clouds. So that's what we're doing today. We're working on the background. We are using the color scheme that we see here. Obviously, I'm using a warm color scheme and getting creative and courageous with color. Now let's find the color scheme in our middle ground. So I'm going to be working on committing to the middle of the paper. I'm seeing a lot of shades of green, some cooler blues. I do see a little bit of that orange there. So please remember when you use those quick sticks, only twist up what you need. And I'm actually using the side of the quick stick. Now, the thing about the middle ground is I know that my shapes are going to be a little bit bigger than my background. So what I remember about Impressionism is that we're matching those bold brush strokes with those bright colors. And even though I'm not seeing this light green, I know that this light green is going to match in that cool color scheme because greens, blues, violets, all are part of those cool colors. Nice. I'm going to pull a little bit of that blue-green, that tertiary blue-green. I know that it's a cool color, so I know it's going to mix really well with my cool colors. Always put that lid back on. All right. I do happen to see a couple of these like tertiary yellow oranges in there, so I'm going to get a little courageous. I'm going to add it in. I'm noticing in my middle ground, I see both warm and cool colors, so I'm just going to go for it. I'm starting to see these kind of like smaller trees, so I'm going in with the white and layering those colors. I'm feeling pretty good about connecting the colors and the shapes to my original piece in my middle ground. Time to work in the foreground. All right, let's take a look at the bottom of our paper. That's where the foreground is. Find the color scheme that best matches that landscape. I noticed that there's warm colors, so I can really use anything in the warm color scheme. Let me add in some yellow. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to match those bold brush strokes of our foreground. Remember that colors within that color scheme, they mix and match well, so don't be afraid to be creative when you paint that foreground. Also, I know that the scale of my foreground is a lot bigger, so I'm going to make my brush strokes bigger as well, because when we're trying to show space, the scale of our brush strokes can also help create this illusion of being in the foreground and looking out into the distance. All right, always push that back down into the little paint area. Use those wipes if you need to. I'm going to continue using my seeing skills. I'm going to look for colors and textures that match my foreground. In my specific inspiration painting, I know the original artist used lots of texture, so you can see that my brush strokes are pretty rough. Don't be afraid to layer those colors and continue building up that foreground. You may even want to add some more creative shapes. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about my landscape so far. You can see that my background is at the top, my middle ground is in the middle, and I feel pretty good about the scale of my kind of tree and grass shapes that I made in the foreground. As far as refining my work today, I think I'm going to really zero in on the element of texture, because if my grass and trees and all of that is up close, I'm going to see all of those tiny little like textures. Now, my textures are very rough and bumpy. Yours may be a little bit different. So refining my work today before I present, I'm going to really just commit to creating those really rough line textures. So line is going to be your best friend today, along with really staying in your color schemes, colors that really match together. Once you're proud of your great work showing that awesome space of a landscape, let's present it.